Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Today is Friday, so you know what that means. Everybody grab something red and meet us and your favorite drink and meet us on the other side of this with my buddy Clint Westwood. We're going to be at his bar talking smack. I heard there's really nothing going on this week. I don't know. We'll see what he has to say. But we want to remember everyone deployed. I heard somebody's birthday's coming up this week, so we'll check that out right after this. Happy Friday, Westwood.
Guten Freitag. Prost.
Just feeling a little German there, are you?
Yeah. All right. Put the
Welcome
phone
to
down.
everybody in the chat. I'm gonna
Welcome to all you lovely
first
people.
one in as usual.
Tom. Terrible
Wonderful
Tom. I'm just kidding. I say that affectionately.
Daddy-o, JB.
Wow. We got 15
Warrior.
people in here? Is this the right
Amazing.
chat? There's already 15 people in here and we just went live. You guys must have
Magic.
been talking it up.
Mitchie's Motivational Monday, or any day that ends in Y. Check out his post today on Twitter. Silver Jim, we love that girl.
Indeed.
If you are watching, make sure you're posting in the chat so we can see who's here today with us.
Shout out in the chat. What happened?
You left and you came back really fast.
I did? Oh,
Disappearing
man.
show.
But then I did that little time travel thing. I had to go get some research done, so I'm back.
I see.
I got a list now.
Oh, cool.
We're good to go.
Cool. So I don't know if speaking of time travel, I don't know if we want to go back or go forward, but man, it feels like there was, Uncle Cliff was talking about this, there would be like a week's worth of news in a day, every day. And I feel like
no doubt
exhausted just thinking about this whole week. Thuran J-Mac and Mark Weems and JB changed his name.
Once Jim Montgomery hops in, I'll thank him again for this. I never drink out of it. My daughter always takes it, so I've got it for her.
Oh, you got it back. That's pretty good.
This one's, I got it back for now because she's gone for the weekend.
Get it while you can, Dad. Father's Day's coming up next weekend.
Yeah.
Right.
Is it next weekend?
Is it next weekend?
Yeah, next weekend.
We're coming up on Flag Day on the 14th, which is Trump's 77th birthday. Happy birthday, President Trump. And it's also the Army's birthday the same day. So that's going to be a pretty significant day. Kind of excited about that next Wednesday. I think that'll be good.
Wednesday, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I got my studio all rearranged. I'm doing stuff out here. I got things everywhere. I'm making improvements, but this is tilted. I'm upset by it. It's not the right angle.
You're not the right angle. Somebody gave you a compliment the other day about a new position of your camera.
Oh,
I can't
really?
remember who it was. Hey, Trini's here today.
Different position.
Oh, Mikey.
Need the 3D cam so you can see what's going on.
Yeah, Crypto Mojo's joining us. Stephen Tyrell is here. There's Jim Montgomery.
Jim Montgomery. Yeah, did you see it? I'm drinking out of the Yeti today. My daughter takes it from me all the time. She's out of town. So, you got the Yeti you gave me.
And Gloria's here. Hey, Gloria. Good to see everybody in the chat. Thanks for joining us, you guys.
Ladies in my life steal everything I have. I need to get a new bucket hat this summer. And I'm going to hide it until Lisa goes
you're
home.
Talking about. I'll bring mine, and I won't take your new one. We are going to be having the
fell off a scooter. I don't know. I just found it.
No, your wife gave it to me. Actually,
I know she did.
She's so sweet. So we are going to be having another meetup in Peoria, Illinois. I'm super excited about it. I put some more information about it in the description of this. You can also go to clintwestwood.net and get a link with a map to the location at Peoria Pizzaworks. Oh, hold on. I'll undo this. And then, oh, there's Polly P in the house.
Speaking of falling off a truck or a scooter.
Oh, our names aren't showing up on the bottom.
What?
So it doesn't say clintwestwood.net.
Oh, well, nobody will find me then.
I
That's
may have changed a setting. I had an interview earlier today that reminds me. When I was on the Very Dow channel, you can check that out over on the Very Dow YouTube channel with Reggie Middleton. And we're doing kind of the state of crypto. And so I've been doing some research for that all this week, which there has been no lack of news for that with the Coinbase lawsuits. There's supposed to be a announcement from Judge Torres on the XRP, which I haven't heard if that came out.
I don't know. XRP, I mean, it's being front run a little bit because it's maintained its price during this little bit of a dip. It's actually gone up a little bit, and it's sitting right at the support level, resistance level. So whatever happens, if it comes out, it's going to pop or it's going to drop. It's like sitting there waiting.
Yeah. Well, there is Charles Davis. He is a
Charles Davis in the
man.
house. He is.
And that's my hunky hoey.
He's in the house. Smash the likes.
Smash the likes, he says. Let's see. Thrand. And I saw somebody else. Oh, Light Shadow's here too. And then, so that decision's supposed to come out today, and she's supposed to make a decision about token holders in secondary markets, which will affect all of us and should be pretty significant, especially with the other news that came out this morning was that Binance was halting deposits of USD. Mm-hmm. And then this afternoon, Crypto.com made the same announcement. And
that one was a little confusing to me. Was that it said institutional accounts or something, and it wasn't real clear. Are they talking about all retail accounts? I mean, I wasn't real clear on that. I know they're cutting off something, but I mean,
everybody's cutting off something nowadays.
I know, right? It's that whole pride.
Make it clear. Let's see. Oh Lord, I have so much. I should have left all my tabs from my interview up. I closed everything out, and
well, they're shutting down the ramps, the on ramps and the off ramps with U.S. dollars. What's happening, and it's going to go back to like it was in 2017. Though that was the way it was. You didn't have Tether. You did not have really. I mean, I guess you did have the on ramp to the U.S. dollar, but you didn't have the pairing. It was just like, okay, if you do well in a crypto, you like throw it in Bitcoin. That was like your standard, you know? So, I mean, we may go back to that point where it's just like all crypto trading and there's no gateway to get out. So you better have adoption and you better be able to use the crypto at that point. Just saying.
Well, the other thing is, crypto's kind of for the future. I could see us, using gold and silver for a while. That's constitutional money. It would help heal the country. And then the other thing I was thinking about this right now, all the pedo stuff is coming out, the Instagram, the maps, all of this. And at the same time, they are flooding tons of money into the Ukraine. This movie is about to come out.
2 billion more today.
Yeah. 2 billion more is going to Ukraine. They just announced today. And this movie from Mel Gibson's about to come out showing all this trafficking and all this. And if they've closed the healthy off and on ramps and all this money comes through and the heads pop up like a whack-a-mole game through the bad.
I know what you're saying. I mean, you're funneling him. No, I know exactly what you mean. You've got, exactly where the gateways are at this point, and you just wait for them to come through.
If they're flushing out the last of the trash,
something's definitely happening. There's no doubt about that. We're definitely ramping something up and heading to a crescendo moment. We had Trump indicted again.
Again, yes, and I made a point to bring that because people are freaking out. Oh, he's indicted. Oh, he's good. That is not indicted. Is not arrested. It's like a dirty name. It's like a bad name calling.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh, you did this.
Yes.
Well, now
And I
prove it.
tweeted and I was like, it's like everyone got a case of amnesia when they caught COVID. Everybody has the shortest memory. Like, this also happened in March. He got indicted for something. And what I want to put in everyone's mind is, if you were in a situation where there's a bunch of people who are not going to believe anything you say. They think you're a liar. They hate you. And you have information that you need them to believe. How do you get them to believe that information?
Oh, I know exactly where you're going. Probably discovery in court.
I probably would hide it and have them find it
And then it gets discovered in testimony in court.
And then some Supreme Court judge is now overseeing that information. And she's, I can't remember what her name was.
Aileen, that's part of the public record then.
Something like that. And so it's not him telling this information now. And all of a sudden, these people are like, what did we find this dirt on Trump? And instead they're finding, and they're seeing the truth themselves. He's not telling them.
Like,
and so they're more likely to believe it, right?
Mm-hmm. No, it makes total sense. What I've noticed is, some people will say, "Oh, he's still an arrogant jerk," but he hasn't really. Maybe on Den.social, and maybe on some of the statements, but publicly, in the public eye, he does not seem as.
He was the one worried about. He's the one worried about lives. Hey, AJ Greer, and hey, Kent from Crypto Experiences by St. Jerome. He's the one worried about people's lives during this war in Ukraine. Not Lindsey Graham sitting there saying, the best money we ever spent on dead Russians. He's the one worried about
best money we ever Brennan.
Disgusting. Yeah, that's a disgusting thing to say.
He's a war hawk. He's a warmonger. Him and McCain, they ran around the world making deals with all these bad guys so that they can get all the arms coming in and fight all these little proxy wars, and then at the back end of it, they're trafficking all kinds of stuff, anything you can imagine, because it's cover for all that. So that's what they like. They're scum.
Yes. Hey, JDO and JT Silver, good to see you. It's all of that is coming out, like all these weird obvious. Guy from the Adrenochrome movie. I forgot what it's called.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah, some interviews where he was on with like a Tonight Show or something, and he's saying these horrible things, like out in the open, and then he talks about these snuff films, which I didn't know that's what that meant.
Okay. Yeah, they go and they execute people on film after doing all kinds of things with them, and people watch this stuff, they enjoy it. It's probably blackmail and compromise.
Then they also use it to blackmail and compromise people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It goes on.
Sick.
Yeah, it's all over the place. You think it's. With all of the amount of money that's been created and the level of corruption that we see on the surface, it just multiply it. That all goes on behind the scenes because there's no depth to the depravity of human nature, and some of these people are just when's enough. It never is. And so imagine what it could be.
No, and even this, like this is like something. This is happening today. This is a 14-year-old girl being sent away from her parents by a court, kidnapped by Islamists, forcibly converted to Islam, and pushed into slavery.
Point,
14 years old.
Yeah. That's why we have the rule of law. That's why, what made America so great is you actually have a fair court system where you can face your accuser. You have the right to a defense. You have all these checks that have been put in place. You don't have that in other countries. It's just, we're going to come cut your hand off. That's just what it is. Okay, is there no mercy in this? Is there any, I can't defend myself? Nope, it's just the way it is.
No, this has to stop. And I'm so glad to see it coming out. I do believe that it's coming out and it's going to change. And if it means that we stop using the dollar for it to change, I am all for that.
Mhm.
Hey, Jay Delaney, good to see you. There was some really interesting stuff coming out. Also, that Binance announcement came out and said, we're going to stop using or accepting deposits of the USD on
13th was
the
it? Or
13th, which is a
actually now
Tuesday.
I think, but the 13th I think they're going to stop the withdrawals on the 13th, isn't it? That's going to be the last day to get it out. I think right now they said don't
Maybe
put
I
any more in,
misunderstood.
and I think
Okay.
the 13th is when it's like, nope, that's it. We're shutting down
Then
USD
you
withdrawals.
can't get withdrawals.
I
Okay,
mean, that's a
maybe
few
I
days,
misunderstood.
4 days.
Yeah, and Uncle Cliff always said it would happen on a Tuesday, and I sent him that last night, and he tweeted it out this morning. And then I also sent him a video from MonkeyWorks and I posted that video in for my Patreon and told them to watch it. It's either at 14:20 or 17:20, I can't remember, but where there's a clip from the FDIC, this lady at the FDIC, and she's talking in like some kind of interview, or that she's up on some board. She says, well, ideally we'd like to tell them, we'd like to be able to tell them to stop using the dollar on a Friday. And I was like,
Yeah.
what did she just say? Like, they already have a plan
readjust.
When
over the weekend.
And Reggie talked about, we've been, Johnny was talking about it a long time ago. Since she's been talking about it, the Fed Now thing has been coming. We've been talking about this for years. Fed Now. It's ready. It's supposed to roll out in July.
They've been testing it. See, they've been testing it already. They've got banks that have, here, sign up. Let's start testing it. And July, it was supposed to go live. So it's
They're
right
ready
now. So that's, what do you think all this stuff's happening right now? I mean, they want to roll you into that stuff. I mean, hey, you can get your crypto. Just sign up with this account. It'll be all good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They realize the problem they have with crypto. So, hey, if we can put a system in to where we can like funnel people into those cryptos and funnel them out and see exactly what they're doing and control the whole system, okay, we can let it exist, even though it is kind of a threat, but at least at that point, we can control the flow. The last thing they want is a 2017 event where you've got all of retail coming in and saying, hey, I need to buy Bitcoin, Litecoin, and then it just doesn't stop going up. They don't want that, because then all the dollars go out of the system.
Or do they? I don't know.
Just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, they want those dollars trapped in their closed system of Fed Now so that they can then monitor, have that monitoring system.
They don't want it going into crypto that you can control and start actually using.
Right.
And the price keeps going up because it's absorbing more of the dollars out of the system.
Yeah.
Last thing they want.
I thought this was really interesting. One of the rumors are that this was in one of the documents that were found, because, they released some of the documents that were found in Trump's, that he took, which he's the president, he can declassify anything. And the ironic thing is it was at Mar-a-Lago that they were in and put away, waiting for him to have like his president's library or whatever.
Yeah, right.
And they were also being watched by Secret Service. They're protected by Secret Service.
However, they didn't have Corvette tire tracks all over them, you mean?
Yeah, and they weren't left in Chinatown unsupervised or in a bowling alley like Bush did. Right. Anyway,
Bush, Biden, what's the difference?
And Biden wasn't a president when he left his stuff.
Right. But you see what's happening, though. I mean, if you're paying attention at all, all this does is bolster Trump for 2024, because you look at this as a common citizen and you say, okay, he's being indicted for mishandling presidential documents or classified documents. Mm-hmm. And yet over here, we've got Biden with all these documents. So why is this happening here and not here? I mean,
well, and at the same time, Biden and Biden and Biden and Biden. I think there's a picture of all
5
of
by 5, 5
all
million
the
by 5 million.
Bidens. Yeah, that got not just and they're trying to say 5 million. They're like, oh, we mean 10 million, and that's just one deal.
That's one deal.
They found one phone call, $10 million. There they are. What a wonderful family.
Oh, healthy, happy. They put the fun in dysfunctional. Look at them. Come on.
So this is that's part of the
They
distraction.
put the show in shower. Oh, all right. Enough.
Oh, gross. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? Going down to the gutter here.
Yeah. Speaking of the gutter, yeah. Oh.
The sewer's next, so be careful.
So
right?
It wasn't 5 million, it was 10 million that this one deal was that we know about. And that was a phone call that we all heard that he admitted to himself.
Bragging about it.
On video years
ago. On stage.
Once again, we all have amnesia.
But it's all right out there. It's all in your face. And see, that's the thing. That's why this has got to be a movie. It's got to be scripted. It is so blatantly obvious and in your face that you can't deny it if you're paying attention. Now, did you fall asleep and drool in the popcorn? Okay.
Yeah.
You need to wake up, watch it again. Get the next show because it's so obvious what's going on here. It's just wait. You got to be awake. You've got to, if you're paying attention at all, you got to see the whole imbalance of the situation, the unfair system that we're living in, the unjust system that we're living in. You got a president who's running the DOJ, indicting, that's an independent counsel, I guess, but indicting a former president who's running against you. You see a conflict there?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
While he's accepting bribes.
Yeah, while you getting paid. The big guy's getting paid. I don't know if the big guy's Joe or James Biden. I'm not sure yet. I got an instinct tells me it might be James Biden running it all. But
really?
Yeah, I don't know. He's kind of a guy off in the shadows, his brother.
What do you think about the Fed charging 2 Russians with hacking the Mt. Gox hack and that happening right now? The timing of this.
I haven't looked into that, but of course it's Russians.
That's what I thought. When I was like, oh, they caught the guys
Lisa,
that did.
You drink vodka. We need to investigate you. That's a Russian connection there.
I drink Texan vodka, but
right.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's vodka.
I just thought the timing of this is odd.
No
is this to be able to release more Bitcoin to dump the price of Bitcoin?
Probably. It could be because they always do that. It's like, okay, let's manipulate it down a little lower and scare people out of it. See, that's the thing. You're not scared.
We got them. So we found it. So we're going to release it.
There's more Bombay Sapphire Gin and tonic.
This story also keeps resurfacing. I thought this was strange. And this is not. This Hillary keeps showing up too. The one with the big dimples
and puffy
cheekbones. I don't know.
The moon cheeks.
Yeah, I'm sure she loves when this, or she used to love when this one would come up because it's much more attractive than what she looks like. But
I've seen like 5 different types of pictures here. Well, for Hillary, I don't even know what's what. It's like that Tom Cruise thing. Remember?
Yes, I did. I put that up too.
Come on.
I put that one up and people were
Which
like,
one's
what
the real one?
The heck is that? People were really surprised about that.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is, the 3 Toms.
Who's the one that's really friends with David Miscavige?
Maybe all 3.
Maybe it was in the basement of the temple. They were all created. Who knows?
They may have all been created there. Cloned.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That whole thing is...
It's a cloon. Clooney. They're Clooney.
I saw some weird videos with him this last week or so where he's like...
Jumping on a couch on Oprah?
No, he's trying to talk to people and they are like hardcore ignoring him, trying to get...
They shouldn't be able to walk down the
from
street.
Them.
When are we going to get to that point? Hopefully we are.
I think it was Prince Harry or no, maybe it was William. And they were like turning their bodies away from him, like they were at a public event, maybe his movie, Top Gun or something. And he's like trying to like get a handshake or come in or whatever. Like it's super awkward. And I thought.
They're treating him like Kelly McGillis at this point.
Oh, it was weird. Yeah. Super weird. The client list is out. This
See,
came
there's so
out
much
and
out. All the
keeps coming
information's out there.
out.
And I guess you got to get it in a
Everything's out
courtroom or
there.
something in order for people to realize it. And I got it's in a court document now. It's on court TV, so I guess must be true. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. This was the Binance thing. Binance US is suspending the acceptance of US dollar deposits.
Yeah, you can't put it in anymore.
Yeah, and then they also wanted their customers to know that their banking partners are preparing to pause US dollar withdrawals as soon as June 13th. So that's
We've seen this with banking. You saw it with Get Hedge. You saw it with the Litecoin card. You see it with all these gateways that were opened up that allowed you to use crypto back into the dollar. But it's the banks. It's the banks that have shut all that down because they're afraid and being strong-armed and saying, stay out of this crypto stuff. There's a bigger plan, for all this. And I don't think crypto's going away. I just think it's just a matter of, all right, fear as many people out of it so they can get it as cheap as possible and have it in their coffers because they know we're going digital 100% in the future. I mean, just like they manipulate silver. Well, what makes you think they're not going to manipulate something like Bitcoin or Litecoin? And of course they're going to do that. If they can get all the silver they want, for cheap, that's what they want to do, scare you out of it. But they have to do that because you can possess it and hold it in your possession. So they got to get you to, I'm a little worried. Maybe I should get rid of it. Maybe I should just, have dollars that we've got 4 trillion more coming in the next year and a half, beyond what they're spending just, on the level, 4 trillion more in debt. It's okay though. We'll be all right. And 2 billion to Ukraine. Can't build a wall though.
Yeah, I did see where, what does Javi call Governor Abbott? Hot Wheels. He calls him Hot Wheels or something like that.
I'm like, oh my God.
I think Javi, don't say that. It's not nice.
But I get it because he's got a past experience with what the guy did. And he's just like, I don't like the guy.
It's frustrating.
I don't blame him.
But he's sending some kind of boats or something, some kind of barge or something to put a barrier in the water to stop migrants in Texas this weekend. So
bring some of those sharks from Egypt over and put those in the water. That'll take care of it.
That sounds scary.
You seen that video? The guy gets eaten by a shark
in the river in Egypt.
I don't know. It's in Egypt, off a coast, and the boat's watching. The guy's flailing around. The shark's eating him, pulling him under, and ends up killing him.
It's horrible.
I know it's horrible. Man's got those limitations. Get out of the water. That's why I don't like going in the ocean.
That terrible man in France who was stabbing all those children in the playground this week. And I don't know if that was real or that was a video.
It's like the AI
flag to cause fear.
Yeah, right. It's like Trump, hugging Fauci in the latest ads.
That. Yeah, those were fake.
What's real? What's real anymore?
Supposedly DeSantis campaign created those to make Trump look bad.
Hugging Fauci.
But the latest DeSantis videos, any DeSantis pictures or videos lately have all looked AI to me.
Well, he's probably got young staff, and so they're leveraging technology. I mean, just like Obama leveraged social media, Trump used Twitter as the platform, to his use. So, I mean, they're using technology, and as technology changes, they're going to use it. I mean, pretty soon you're going to have no idea. You're not even going to know if the guy's alive.
I don't even know it's you.
Right. You don't even know if it's me right now. You have no idea.
It Westwood?
It's an artifact of Westwood. It's a Westwood artifact.
What was that old commercial? Is it real?
Where's the beef?
No. Is it real or Instagram?
Is it Memorex?
Instagram.
Is it
Memorex.
Real or is it Memorex? The guy sitting in the chair with the wind blowing.
I don't remember.
Is that Memorex?
I just remember is it something real or is it?
Is it real or is it Memorex?
Memorex. So here's another. This seems to be every other week. The IRS, oopsie again. They slipped and fell down again. They apologize to taxpayers and tax professionals for any confusion as we continue to review the situation. They sent out millions of letters demanding payment of taxes owed. I got one actually.
Did you really? They just send it. It's like, hey,
and we paid it like idiots. And many of them featuring incorrect information. So I'm like, well, crap. I want my money back.
Life is a lemon and I want my money back.
Yeah. So anyway.
Hey, the IRS can look at all your bank accounts now. The Supreme Court said so. If you're affiliated with, somebody that's shady, and you happen to have coffee with them at Starbucks for some reason, or run into them or open the door for them, they can now look in your bank accounts without telling you. Unwarrantless searches, unwarrantless, that's redundant. Warrantless searches, and just do whatever they want. See, it's out of control. The Supreme Court says it's okay. I mean, maybe military is the only way.
I think it is. And in fact, we're now allowed to talk about.
Maybe the militia.
I can't believe I have to say this.
Maybe the militia is the only way.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I can't believe I have to say this. I can't believe I would ever say this growing up in America, but I'm allowed to talk about the miscalculations or the election in 2020 now on YouTube. And this was the most significant news of this week, I think. And this is the information about what they found. I don't know. Did you see this? That when I had Mom and I think I talked about this with Mom and Johnny.
I think I saw this when it came out. Yeah.
Yeah. And I put the full video in the Telegram group. So if you guys want to watch the full video, you can go. There's a link in the description of this video.
Team Mighty Telegram group.
You can join our Team Mighty Telegram group. And I put tons of information. Tom puts information. Jim puts information. We've got people always adding more and more information in there.
I'm just a voyeur. I just watch. I don't comment.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of good information.
You can just watch. You can chat. You can add content and information. It's just really somewhere for community. So you're welcome to join.
Another way to connect.
Third week of January in 2021, my guys in Dallas called me to a meeting not at our office, but at a Hilton. So we showed up at the Hilton, and they had rented this room upstairs. Up on their addresses, their kids, so their social security number that you live I was waiting on them to scream happy birthday to me or something. And then we pulled up on the screen in essence a database, and the database had in it every bit of information that you would want to know about 1.8 million Americans. Their driver's license numbers when they had them, their dates of birth, their social security numbers, their bank account numbers, the routing numbers with those banks, their addresses, their kids, pretty much everything you would want to know. Also, kids were in there, and we knew that because the kids were all noted in all caps. So a kid's name is in all caps. Everybody else was not. And so by now it's midnight, 1 o'clock, and we're kind of going through it, and I'm starting to say, well, what is this? And this is a list of 1.8 million election workers in America. But it was more than that. It was a lot more than that. So as we dug into it, and we spent the next 3 or 4 hours and ended up breaking up just before dawn and leaving, we learned through this discovery process that this company had collected all voting related information, not just about the workers, but about the schematics for the buildings, the RFID codes on the equipment, anything you would ever want to know about an election or how to run an election or to administer election was in this database. The database itself, of course, how do you get into a database, right? And so what happened is there's a piece of software called Binary Edge. You can go type in a URL into Binary Edge, and it'll pull up everything you ever.
And we'll show you some of that here in a second.
Everything you ever wanted to know about that URL, like where does it live, what IP address is it on, what internet backbone does it play on, I mean, pretty much everything you want to know. But if after you dig into it, you can then learn if there are any other IP addresses or any other URLs attached to that IP address. But as you dig further into it, you can actually see the ports and then what's in the ports. So it would be port 87, MongoDB, port 26, the web server, whatever it was in the different ports that were listed on this 2-page PDF. Except we were not looking on the PDF at the time. We were still in binary edge. And it would be startling enough to know that all of that information, if that's all there was on servers in America, right? You would all be startled with that. You would be more startled to know that this server lives on the main Unicom backbone in China, and it is in a Chinese university in Wuhan, China. The data.
The same university that Trevor talked about made the maps.
And I'm not talking about just this was a storage place for data processed here. The app server for this particular application was in China, meaning it was being served from China, gathered and brought back.
Like that should be an act of war.
It is.
Right?
It's treason. I mean, but
Is
the
that
thing
not?
is, you had the Clinton administration, you had the Bush administration under
Right,
Dick
selling
Cheney's
us to
direction, selling
China
it
all
all
these
out.
years.
Nuclear technology,
Yeah.
weapons technology. Every corporation that went over there, they signed over, basically gave away their intellectual property to be able to operate in China.
Yeah.
They had full rights. I mean, all these people sold out America is what it comes down to. And they're doing the same thing. You see all these freaking, colored flags and all this BS right now on all these corporations. And I know where you're coming from, and I take the argument that, hey, listen, they're trying to tear down all of Americana. Americana's gone. I mean, it's at the local level. It's not these corporations. The corporations are the bad guys. I mean, $3,500 for VR glasses is going to mind numb you into the Matrix. F that. Screw you, Apple.
Yeah.
I mean, all
No
these companies, bunch of crap. I mean, unless we get down to mom and pop production, once again, ain't going to happen. And how do you do that? Well, you got to make money. That's why you got to have a new form of money. That's why you take these tools, these decentralized tools that are in existence, whether it be silver, whether it be gold, whether it be real cryptocurrencies. That's what needs to happen at the local level to where we're trading with ourselves. I had somebody come out and fill the water tank because, got the water tank out here. So I pump it up and, had him come and fill it up. And I pay him in cash. I try, I actually, I missed him last night. So I took it over to his house, put it in cash. He wasn't home, left it there. Then I called him and said, hey, I left it there. I left a little seed card in there, Bitcoin, Litecoin,
cool.
Put the cash in there, gave me a little extra because I'm not going to pay him with a credit card. I'm not going to pay him with a check that goes through a bank. I'm going to give him cash because that's something he knows how to use and it's something that benefits him immediately. But hey, guess what? There's this in there. That little maybe plants that seed to where, I know that guy knows a little bit about crypto. He left me that card.
When it does click for him,
I
he
want
will
local
know who to
connections.
ask.
I want us to be able to exist locally and deal with people locally and get the things I need and provide the things that they need, with what tools I have. I mean, these corporations, they've sold us out. Completely multinational, sold us out. Presidents sold us out. I mean, there's really only one president was America first here in the last, 40 years. And, they're trying to put him in jail. Just saying. Like him or not, didn't have any foreign wars, bringing production home, becoming energy independent. That's what we need to do as America. I mean, produce at home. I mean, that's how you have a thriving economy. And now it's just been completely destroyed, completely fractured, completely just, it's garbage, complete garbage. Anyway,
yeah,
I can keep
it's time to rebuild again.
Step back.
No, I love it. I love hearing you get fired up about it. I heard this again. So somebody new followed me and went back, and he's a big fan of Bix's. He was retweeting all of Bix's stuff, a lot of Bix's stuff, and he retweeted one of our happy hours that Bix came on, and then and he retweeted Bix's Christmas. He retweeted this happy hour that we did where we talked about the Kim Clementi prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're about the healing the money thing and all that. And then then right before or after that, he retweeted Bix's Santa. I can't remember what the song is. It's something
Santa
about Santa.
baby.
No, it's like Santa's got a new sleigh, or Santa doesn't know where he parked his sleigh, or
they stumble.
I can't remember something like that.
I know what you're talking about.
Anyway,
no
but
more chips and salsa.
Yeah, it led me to this one that was talking about the FTX Alameda and why Tether gave them.
And where's Caroline? Where's Sam Bankman Fried right now? Caroline connected to Gensler directly through the parents.
Right.
Come on, man.
36.7 billion Tether with 0 payments through FTX Alameda. And then I saw a tweet somewhere where they said that CZ helped find this information.
He's the one that basically leaked the whole thing and took down FTX, really, from what I can gather.
And now you see the SEC going after him.
It's like, oh, let's have a little smackdown now. All right, fine. We're going to play that game.
So once again, the whistleblowers are punished.
Yeah, they shove the whistle down their throat and try and choke them with it. That's what they do. Because it's all a rigged game. It's all a rigged vampire casino. And you got a bunch of vampires. Look at Gensler. What do you think he is? I mean, look at these people. I mean, it just seethes out of them. It just oozes out of them. You just see it. Oh, man. It's just so rigged and so phony. This is why they shouldn't be allowed to walk down the street in comfort. That's why you think, oh, Mr. Gensler, oh, let me get you the VIP table. No, just shut the door on him so you got a reservation and then get out of here. Get out. Treat them like scum, because that's what they are, scum. Complete scumbags that have sold out America. So F them.
I think
we're the ones that give them power.
I think Gensler's being put out there
Good.
So our future son-in-law, Charlie's oldest daughter, is getting married, or his daughter is getting married.
Clintons, come on.
And
Bushes.
Our future son-in-law is from Alaska, and he said that some of these like really rough Alaska people, which I don't know this, I've never heard this, but some of them will leave their dog on the porch because it keeps bears away, but sometimes the dog doesn't make it. It's kind of cruel. But I feel like Gary Gensler is the dog on the porch in this situation.
I hear you. It's almost like he's a tool he is a tool, but it's almost like he's being used. I mean, because
Jay Clayton, Reggie talked about it today.
Started it, yeah.
Jay Clayton is who went after Ripple. Jay Clayton is who went after Reggie. Jay Clayton, the day before Jay Clayton retired or resigned or whatever. He picked all these fights and did all this, and then left Gary holding the bag.
Right.
And I'm not trying to have any sympathy for Gary Gensler. Don't get me wrong. He's a little weasel, but allegedly, I'll say allegedly, like
I can see him in a weasel
Reggie does all the time. But I'm just saying, like, it's really I don't know what he did in his past life or what they have on him to make him be that little dog on the porch, but he's being left to fight the bears and have to.
I mean, like you said, fine. All right. Brian Armstrong said, okay, well, we'll see what we got on you. We'll put it out there. We're a public company. We went through, we got vetted, we did all this stuff, and you allowed us to get on the stock exchange. Like, everything was okay. Fine, let's get to discovery. I can't wait.
But so this was what I was trying to get Reggie to today. I was trying to lead him down this path to see.
I need a tonic. I'll be right back. Keep going.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. He said keep going, so I hope he can hear me. My conspiracy theory mind. We talked a little bit about this before we got on. I was like, okay, so the charges on this are different. They didn't do any charges on Armstrong. Yeah, they brought these charges against Coinbase. But kind of what this does is this is kind of a way for them to be able to set laws about crypto because the courts are supposed to interpret
justice.
No, they're supposed to interpret laws that are set So Congress is supposed to create bills.
They make the laws.
The laws that are of, by, and for the people. The will of the people is what it's supposed to be. The courts are supposed to interpret the law. And the regulators are supposed to like
basically enforce it, right?
Oversee or enforce. So what they've done is the Congress has neglected their duties. And so it's kind of jumped the shark. And now the SEC has done this enforcement thing, and
what are they enforcing? There's no law.
Well, let me tell you, this is what I'm telling you. They have jumped the shark of Congress doing their duty by being held accountable by the people that they're elected by. And now
they shouldn't be doing anything at this point because there's nothing to do.
Group. Right. They have this unelected group. So now what they're doing is they're going to create laws in court by having a court case.
Precedent.
There will be standing or precedent, but it's not really a law. It's standing.
Doesn't mean anything.
Precedent.
Right. It doesn't mean anything. It's just like all these government agencies.
Around we the people.
Totally went around it. And that's why Congress, you should impeach all of them. You guys need to do something about this now. And so that's where you got to lean. Gary Gensler's just rogue. He's just this guy out there firing bullets. He's got nothing to stand on. And that's why you don't see anything coming out of the SEC on regulation. They're just saying, well, you did this, you did that, you did that. It's like white supremacy. Okay, you're a white supremacist. And it's like, okay, so what does that mean? What is a white supremacist? And it's like, well, you're white. Like, what do you mean? There's no law against being white. That's what they're doing. It's like, well, you violated security. You're selling securities, and these are possible securities. And it's like, well, but we tried to register and you didn't let us register. So it's all this just BS. There's nothing to stand on. And so they're just out there rogue, hey, well, let's shake them down. Let's shake down Kim Kardashian. Let's shake down this exchange. Let's shake them down. And if they agree because they can't afford to go to court, okay, we win. We got extra money to go shake somebody else down until Congress gets their act in line and says, listen, this is what we're going to do. This is a currency, this is a currency, and this is a currency. All the rest of the stuff, treat it like stocks. Done. But they're not going to do that. Why aren't they doing it? I guess you got to ask yourself that. Why aren't they doing that?
Well,
why is Congress not acting?
I'm thinking that this may have been a partnership, not really a lawsuit, not really so much it could be allegedly. I'm just putting my little conspiracy theory hat on and wondering if this is, hey, you know what? Let's act like we're fighting and go into court together, and then we can negotiate a deal and we can create the crypto laws, Coinbase and SEC,
right?
Because whatever deal they come up with, the crypto precedents,
right?
Yeah.
But Congress can change that tomorrow if they would do something. But McCarthy sent them home because, we got these people that care about freedom and they're going to hold us up from doing anything and let everybody go home.
Well, where did the REINS Act end up? Because Roy Chip and...
Not familiar with it. Oh, Chip Roy?
Oh my gosh. Texas? This is huge.
The REINS Act?
Yes. I've been talking about
rein
it for
rein it in.
3 days.
I know, but I've been getting ready for Westwood.
I know. I'm not busting your chops. I know. Okay, so this is huge, and I'm really excited about this. Is it Margaret? McCormack? I believe it's Margaret McCormack. I'll find it really quick. Hold on. The REINS Act. She's from Wyoming. They are pushing it's where anything over a certain dollar amount, the Congress has to be brought in on it. So they can't neglect their duty. It can't be pushed off to these three-letter agencies. It has to be brought to the floor, has to be brought to issue. Let me find it. Let me think. REINS.
Well, they do. They've given up their, they should be taking care of this.
This week, this was June 6th. So hopefully this will.
Congressman John James from Michigan 10. I'm voting yes on the REINS Act because we're done subsidizing those who would hurt us. We're done building the middle classes in China on the backs of ours. I'm voting for the REINS Act this week because my district is currently being suffocated by out-of-control government regulation. Michigan's 10th congressional district is America's #1 manufacturing district. The auto industry is our lifeblood. That also means that we are on the front lines of the EV revolution. When speaking with leaders from the Detroit 3 and auto workers, I hear the exact same thing. The federal government is forcing American auto workers to conform to strict standards on impossible timelines for product customers don't want. It's comply or die.
Same thing.
The Constitution never intended to give unelected bureaucrats the authority to make these kind of rules. The REINS Act is a vital step to rolling back these destructive regulations and reasserting Congress's authority to legislate, and it provides a key check on the executive branch. It's time to rein in harmful federal regulations that are costing hard-working Americans trillions of dollars each year. Red tape is silently choking the American dream, and it stops with the Republican conference in this Congress.
So it's happening across all industries, I guess. There's
See, that's it. People got to get to the point where they're just like, this is stupid. This is absolutely ridiculous. It cannot continue like this. It just does not work. It does not work. I mean, and most people understand that now, and we're getting to that point. It doesn't work. I mean, what are you going to do about it then?
Any major rule.
Your congressman's home this weekend,
more than 100.
Pay him a visit, go to his office, see where he's giving a public event, and bring some of this stuff up. Hey, what about sound money? Maybe that can fix some of this, huh? Just saying. You want to rein this stuff in? Why'd you vote to raise the debt ceiling? Thank God my congressman here in the district didn't vote to raise the debt ceiling. And it's like, I mean, that's how you got to start, though. You got to say, okay, enough is enough. And whatever pain comes, it comes. But the thing is, you start making real decisions then. It's like, well, we really don't need this agency anymore. Do we need the Department of Education? No, we don't need it. Thanks, Jimmy Carter. He's probably the next funeral we're going to see. Just saying. And maybe we'll get some envelopes there. But it's just, we don't need all this bureaucracy. We don't need all this stuff. We know how to run things on our own. Yeah, we can make mistakes, but that's why we have community. That's why we got local level stuff to where we can figure it out right here instead of having somebody, well, you need to do this, go through this protocol, that protocol. Hey, if you change the oil, you can dig a little hole, put a little sand, a little rock in it, dump the old oil in it, and cover it up. You'll be fine. But no, the EPA is going to come in and, take everything you got for doing something like that now. Used to be okay, not okay anymore. You get all these people that don't do anything except nitpick. I mean, all they do is they want to find problems. They're a bunch of hammers running around looking for nails. That's all they are. Well, take away the hammers.
I wonder when they're going to vote on this.
Road to hell is paved with government hammers.
That's a lot of them. Anyway, lots of good stuff. I could go on and on and on. What's on your list?
I don't know. I'm just pissed. I kind of get that. No, seriously.
This is my girl.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
This is my girl. Well, she's saying this is the lady though that I was finding, but she was talking about this is the lady that I was playing earlier.
The REINS Act would help to remedy these problems. It would invert the CRA's standard of legislative disapproval in favor of requiring affirmative congressional approval of major agency rules before they take effect. It requires Congress to do as our founding fathers expected and to carry out our constitutional duties, which is to legislate. The REINS Act puts legislative power back in the hands of the legislative branch.
But it never left.
The REINS Act also promotes electoral accountability by giving elected representatives a larger role in policymaking and unaccountable bureaucrats a smaller one. Again, I cannot fathom why anyone on the legislative side of the aisle would oppose such accountability or such course correction of this legislative ship. The second bill I'm here to discuss is H.R. 2. The REINS Act would help to remedy that.
It's because they're all entrenched. It's because, hey,
Oh, I lost you.
Interconnected BS it's this house of cards stuff. It's like, hook this guy up, that guy up. You owe me, and they use government to do all this stuff. It's like, this is a simple fix. I mean, it really is. It's all about the money, and you just say, you know what, we're not funding this stuff anymore. We used to have small government. We did very well. And the private industry, you'd come in, start a charity, build a town. Mr. Hershey, you need workers. What are you going to do? Hey, I'm going to use the profits that I have, the money that I've made, and build a town and, make it nice for all the people to come work for me and make chocolate. Didn't need the government to do that. But now, let's see. Am I going to be on the winners list or the losers list? Let's see. Who do I need to take to dinner? Who do I need to, take to the strip club, to get the legislation that needs to be passed? I mean, and that it's all corrupt. We know it's corrupt. We understand it's corrupt. It's just, what do we do about it? I guess that's the thing. What's the solution? My solution, what I've come to is just, I'm done. I'm exiting it. It's like, if at any point that's why I want people who are going to opt out of the system and try and find those people who understand things are wrong, and let's opt out together. It's just like saying, hey, let's use our own money. Oh, wait, we don't have to do that anymore. We actually have these decentralized currencies, cryptocurrencies that we can use that, I can send to you and me with all this technology that we have. Well, why are we taking 3%, 5% hits on using credit card swipes? Why are we paying with the US dollar that, just gets eroded how many percent a year? 4 trillion in the next year and a half more. What's that going to do? It's not going to be good. It's going to be bad. It's just.
Will the military allow it? Can we, the people, opt out? Will it be parallel? Like, didn't Cliff say there would be parallel and multiple? And in most countries, aren't there multiple currencies? I think the United States, one of the only countries where there's only like one currency.
Yeah, because you got the strong arm coming down on you. And see, they made it profitable to get into the dollar. And it's just, that's what they forced everybody into and funneled everybody into. But yeah, if you're in another country, like Argentina, where they default on the debt every, 5 years or 10 years, whatever it is, Brazil, that kind of thing. I guarantee they're not using the bolivars, the whatever the frick they use. I don't even know. I mean, they're using something else because they're like, this stuff really, I don't know if it has any value.
Or they don't store their.
I got a cow that I'll trade you, or I got something else I'll trade you. I got, gold I can trade you, or silver I can trade you, whatever it is, copper, nickel, all these things, because they realize all this stuff's manipulated. This is, came out of the earth and we know what it's worth. It's just, the dollar has been used as a weapon of economic tyranny for, 110 years now. The Federal Reserve note, not necessarily the dollar, because the dollar constitutionally is silver. It's what it is.
Speaking of silver, there was an article about a big silver squeeze in China that I thought was pretty interesting. That I thought might.
Hey, go take your money out of the bank if you can. Well, if you're at Wells Fargo, you only get $1,000 today. That's the most you can take out.
Yeah, we saw some of those.
Come on. You're being manipulated and being controlled. They want you to sit at the table, and they want you to keep taking cards from the deck and losing to the freaking casino, vampire casino. That's all they want to do. Walk out, get out, do something else, find a way, or just sit there and let them bleed you out, because that's the option you have.
Yeah, and start thinking about building the new future too. And I think it is about the exchange of energy and ideas.
Exactly. And
I really got
what do you need? Okay.
Yeah, when Bix was here and talking about how, we are, we have those conversations of we are energy and we'll have everything we need, but we'll be exchanging ideas. And so it's kind of exciting to start like dreaming again and thinking about like, if we had all that amazing stuff that they've hidden from us for so long. And, Charlie and I went to one of those EES machines with the scalar wave and the biophotonic stuff that's supposed to help you heal stuff. And I have a friend whose daughter is really sick. And he went and bought one, and he's believing in it and going to help heal his daughter. and we're going to get him information on New Eden and get her healthy. And I was telling him how it's going to help, his neighborhood and stuff by having that EES system. And then I start thinking about when we do these new technologies, and I think cryptocurrency is going to be part of that, it's going to heal the nation, the world. It'll heal us from that slavery, from watching that little girl have to leave her father at 14, hearing the stories of them, the movie that's going to come out, the Save Our Children, the movie that Mel Gibson's doing, hearing Tim, I can't remember his last name, the guy that started all that with the rescuing and all that. And he said, Jim Caviezel said, just having to be exposed to just some of what.
I think he's a good dude.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I think he's definitely
100%
a light
all this
in the darkness.
People trying to say that he's not are just total bad information. I mean, what he went through, he almost died doing the Passion of the Christ.
Where were the 3 stunt doubles?
Yeah.
Jesus didn't have a stunt double, did he?
No. He was all in for God. Hollywood was trying to stop that movie ever going to be played. They had to go to churches to get it to be out in the public. I mean, he lost his whole career for that. No way. I'm not buying any of that. He is a good human, but he was saying how much how painful it was to listen to or have to be exposed to some of the horrors that those children go through. And that movie is coming out July 4th, and people need to see it.
Good.
And people need to know what's happening so that
nobody's going to talk about it on the mainstream news because they're bought and paid for. They're paid with fiat. They're paid with dollars.
And when they don't talk about it, who they are, that they're involved in it. When somebody's not talking about it, who they are.
Yep. Don't
because
talk about
everyone should be talking about
here,
it.
5 million there. What's another 5 million? Nope. Don't talk about it. Well, what's that tell you? You're getting your news from the wrong source. And think what you want of Tucker Carlson. But the thing is, he's on Twitter now doing his Twitter, streams, just like he does his intros, or he did his intros on Fox. He did like a 10-minute rant where he read it. And I mean, he's putting out some good information. He's putting out some truth that you're not going to see on the mainstream media. At least it gets you thinking. And I don't know where he's coming from. The date he released it, you look at the numerology, you look at the things that, might mean something. It doesn't matter to me, though. If it gets somebody to start thinking and going down the rabbit hole and understanding that, hey, there's a whole lot down here that I really didn't know was down here. And it's up to you at that point. I mean, at least that's coming out. At least it's giving you information that you're not going to get on this dribble that you see on the television set, because that's all it is garbage. Look at every mainstream news channel. Just flip between the 3 of them, on the network news. It's the same stuff, same advertisers, same crap. I mean, nothing innovative, nothing new, no journalism, nothing.
Yeah.
And if that's the way you want to live, as Rush Limbaugh used to say, a mind-numbed robot, then you know what?
That is on.
But get out of the way. Get out of the way, because you're in the way.
You're in the way. I think there's so much going on right now and so much coming out. Like I said, I felt like every day there was like a week's worth of news.
It's the quickening. That's what it is. It's a quickening process. It's like, hey, Lisa, you're pregnant, right? You go 9 months, 8 months. Well, when you were the time machine thing again, I slipped back. You didn't see me leave.
I was going to say
88
years ago.
Like Litecoin, 88 when that sucker hits $88, which it stays at. But no, when the quickening, it's almost like you're pregnant for a long time, and okay, it's coming along. Then all of a sudden, you probably get to that point where you're like, oh my God, I got a nest, I got to start doing this stuff, and then you wait, and then all of a sudden, boom, okay, it's time, this is it. It's like go time. I mean, it's kind of like we are now. It's like slowly, and then all of a sudden, that's how things happen in the world. I mean, it's slow, and then all of a sudden something happens. And we're kind of at that point where something's happening. And we've waited. Now we're seeing everything just, whoa, warp speed. I mean, if you thought you were going to do something and you were going to get out of the system, if you thought you were going to do something with your life, you thought you were going to, well, maybe I should take out my retirement and do something with it because I don't trust this system. You might want to do it now while you can, because you're not going to be able to do it. And you want to be locked up into that whole thing and just keep on playing in the casino. Well, door's shut, you ain't getting out.
And right now is not the time to be prideful. Right now is the time for America to be humble. Javi he did such a great job this week. We were on a Twitter Spaces. We were on Litecoin Underground. I jumped on for a little while, and then we were on with these younger guys afterwards. And he really did a great job explaining. They really wanted to like rescue the fern, and I just couldn't see past, they were obviously younger and didn't really understand the history.
The fern, so everybody knows out there, is the FRN, Federal Reserve Note. Fern.
Yeah. They said they understood how corrupt the Fed is and that it needs to go away, but they were like, they still were talking about how they basically wanted their Litecoin to be worth dollar go up. I don't know. It was bizarre.
I need my Lambo with my L on the hood.
Yeah, I don't know. It was really weird. But Javi did such a great job talking to them about, because he has family in other countries, and he was like, do you think it's right that for so many years, America has been this bully? We've printed dollars, more and more and more dollars, and we've had inflation, but we've stayed comfortable in the inflation, and these other countries have suffered and had
them of their energy,
poverty, significant poverty because of our mafioso system, and it needs to end, and we need to be humbled a little bit, and it might be painful for a little while, but it needs to happen so that we can have a healthy peer-to-peer free capital markets, so that we can have peace. And peace is more important than this mafioso materialistic world. And if that means we all need to get a little humble, then let's all get a little humble and think about it. And I saw this this little meme, and I said, you know what, if we don't all stop and not think, I don't think anyone, I know even myself, had at least a moment where we believed it was real. I know I have a child who is medically fragile, and I was scared to death for at least a period of time because I was being told something by the people that were told to trust. And so if you don't accept that even you can be tricked or deceived, if you think if it's not possible that you could ever be tricked, you are just above that. No one could ever pull the wool over your eyes. You are the most vulnerable of all, because you're the easiest one to trick, because you're so prideful. 100%. So it's time for everybody to be humble. It's time for us to all come together and do the right thing for everyone.
Yeah, you got to know, you got to have an open mind and search for the truth, and you change your tune. You got to look at what's in front of you and see who's trying to steal from you, basically, and rob you of your energy. Understand who that is, what they've done, and has that benefited you? Has that benefited America? You talk about inflation. Yeah, we've robbed people of their wealth around the world because we've had a dollar standard, and that was what had to be used. And if you didn't use it, they came in with the military. But think about, China would not be where it's at if it weren't for our leaders exporting our inflation to China to build them up, because they gladly took all those dollars to build up their industry. So realize, what's been done here. Realize that there's a bigger plan in work, that they're trying to pick the winners and losers with that currency, and we've been supporting it. So quit living under the illusion of the guy in the megaphone, with the megaphone standing on the pile, after 9/11 saying, oh, we're going to, make these people pay. And then we go into the places where they had nothing to do with it. But there's another agenda in both of those instances. And so they've just manipulated you. They've used your energy, killed your sons and daughters, sacrificed them, because that's what they do. A bunch of freaking evil worshipers that worship an owl that want to sacrifice your children. And that's what they do. And so you got to realize that. And guess what? If you made a mistake and you bought into it, so what? Doesn't matter. Get over it and move forward. Quit trying to defend the lie. Just say, you know what? Yeah, I was kind of wrong.
I know better now.
Yeah, at least I've seen the light now. And it's just like, at some point, everybody's got to have their come to Jesus moment, their see the light moment, to where it's like, okay, yeah, maybe I was wrong, but I'm not going to be wrong in the future. I'm trying not to be wrong in the future. And you just got to move forward.
Whichever lie it was, whether it was the great infection or the things that fell down, or there's so many. Choose yours.
Right, choose your lie.
Choose what narrative that you fell for. I think there's a lot that maybe we all still believe. I mean, I still have things that are uncovered or exposed to me all the time, or that I'm learning about or figuring out. And I think we still will for a long time. But I think it's time for us to be a little humble and
back up, get calm. Get in nature, whatever it is, your peaceful moment, meditate, whatever it is, reconnect with the source, the creator, and trust yourself and know that you're connected to that. Quit listening to the outside influences and live your life according to what you feel in your heart, what your gut tells you, your instincts tell you, what your soul tells you. That's what you need to do. And we do that at an individual level. And all of us individually, we change everything. We change it all. And that's all it takes. And that's what we have to do. These people, with all the money and all the resources they have, and I know you got to go, I'm going to wrap this up, the money, all the resources that they have, all the money that they manipulated out of us, all the energy that they've robbed from us, they still haven't killed our spirit. They still haven't killed our desire to search out the truth. I mean, because innately, all of us feel something's wrong. We know something's wrong. And a lot of us don't know what's wrong. I don't know all the answers. I kind of think I do. But I may not know all the answers. But if I don't know all the answers and I'm confronted with the truth, I'm going to seek the truth. And that's what it comes down to. And you've got to do that. You got to know what it is. You got to feel it inside, and you got to trust yourself, and you can't doubt yourself, because they're just giving you a narrative. I mean, why are you going along and following as a sheep? Why do you want to be a sheep to slaughter? Because that's exactly where they want to take you. So quit listening to them. I'm not going to go that way. Maybe I'll just go this way and step back. At a minimum, just step back and not get engaged and just watch. And then you can make a better decision. But don't trust the vampires. They're vampires.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. They are vampires. Mom said something this week. If you guys didn't watch that, Mom and Johnny joined me on Wednesday. Go back and watch that one. It was a good one. And she said, now is the time to be an observer. And I think
get out of the way.
That too. Yeah. Now
a wise man sees trouble and gets out of the way, because it's like, why am I engaging in this when it's just a crap show? Okay. If everybody wants to get out there and fight over stupid stuff and win stupid prizes,
right.
Get your medal, boy. But I don't need that prize. I don't need that trophy. I'm going to stand back and, there's a bigger purpose, and realize that there's a bigger purpose, and realize that you don't have to win that battle, because it's a war. It's all about the war. The battles really don't matter. You got to win the right battles, and you got to know that.
Speaking of battling, will you be on Spaces tonight? I have a family event.
I might just start it right now and just rant until 1 a.m. I don't know.
If I get back in time, I would be happy to jump on. I just don't know what time. We've got a family dinner. So we're going to head out here in a minute. And then when I get back, I will be happy to jump on your Spaces. So if you guys are looking for Spaces on Twitter tonight, go to @_ Clint Westwood _ all in capitals.
Or you go to clintwestwood.net, and it's got a link to my Twitter account right up there. And then you can click on that and then hit the little bell for notifications. Follow Clint Westwood, and then you'll get all the notifications when I go live on my Spaces, or the Spaces that I'm going to host that Twitter owns, not mine.
There you go.
Yeah. I love everybody in this chat. I love everybody.
Yes,
I really do.
You guys are great. I'm seeing her reading the chat.
It's frustrating being in the real world. I mean, it really is. That's why it's so important. If you can come to this meetup June 23rd, it's free to get in. Just come hang out with us, talk about these things, recharge your soul, recharge your spirit, because it really does. Everybody that walks away, they're like, oh, I'm glad I came because, okay, I'm rejuvenated. And so get around real people, and it's important to do that. So if you can get to Peoria, Illinois, clintwestwood.net, click the big happy hour link at the top, has all the details. Come hang out with us. We're going to be doing a live streaming 2 weeks from tonight. We're going to be doing this.
I've been gathering some
together.
Crypto
going like this to Lisa.
swag to give away.
Getting hit.
He's going to be banging the table.
I know, knocking us offline. So you got to be live to see it.
Thanks. Glad to see you. I got a new friend and give us a little blessing at the end. That's so sweet. So great to have you all, and please give us a like on the way out, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend, and everybody stay safe, and we'll hope to see you on Spaces tonight. So good night,
Love y'all. Trust yourselves.
Love you.
America's not the government, people. The America is you. It is the Grand fucking Canyon, the Rocky Mountains, the deserts of the Southwest, the Pacific fucking Ocean, the Atlantic fucking Ocean. It is the grandest continent. And what the fuck have you people done? You have turned yourself into sheep, every goddamn one of you.